Hey, this is the Kubeflow community call for the 29th of April, 2025. We have lots of random things happening in the doc right now. Okay, so we always give a small chance for anyone who's brand new to the community to just say hi. If you want to say hi, feel free to either raise your hand or unmute and just say hi for a quick one sentence. If not, then that's fine too. Okay, cool. I'll just always list the CNCF code of conduct. That just applies to the meeting. Be nice. Okay, so Valentina wanted to talk about blog posts for for Kubeflow 110.
Yes, thank you. Thanks,
sorry,
everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, sorry.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. I started a blog post about the experience from the Kubeflow. It's a Kubeflow summary in regards of KubeCon Europe. So I listed everything, activities from, I don't know, the project pavilion, the sessions we had, the Kubeflow summit, but also there is a section on what's next for Kubeflow. So if you have been participating on the KubeCon, please add any comments if you feel like there is a topic that should be there that is not there yet. But also, if you think that is something that we should include in what's next for Kubeflow, maybe you didn't attend KubeCon, but still you have a topic that you think is important, we are adding at least at the end. So the deadline to submit comments is this Friday. And if you have any questions, just reach out. Thank you.
Okay, cool. So do you need people to...
Sorry, just one question. I'm wondering, do you want to speak about 1.11, this community call, after you have time? A little bit, just maybe 5 minutes.
110.1 or 110.11?
Yeah, 1.1. Yeah. I don't know, maybe we can do it after we finish the agenda. What do you think, Matthew?
Yeah, we should talk about release. We should just, we'll do it in the release section, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah. Then the second topic is the CNCF is looking for end users report, which is always there available for end users. And the idea is to get your insights on use cases as an end user and how you are making use of Kubeflow. What is your experience so you can share with others? This is not only an opportunity for you to have more visibility in the community and be a voice, a technical leader, but also, to bring your knowledge back into the community. So that is an option, but also at this time, if you do this week, there is also an opportunity. The CNCF is looking for a keynote speaker in China and Japan. So yeah, so just reach out if you have interest or know about an end user that could be interested. Just reach out. We also can help you with the submission if you need a review or anything. Just reach out to us. I will include the links for the submission for end users as well. Right now, the links are there. But yeah, just please reach out. Let us know if you need anything. We would love to hear from you. We want to really know more about how the end users, are making different use cases and implementations on Kubeflow. So that's the second one. Then, yeah, we should talk about Kubeflow. I spoke about, in terms of releases, 1.10.1. Right now, we have, from Manifest, we have a few upgrades on security and the KSER version, but also pipelines, they do have security upgrades that we want to include. So we are discussing with Julius whether it will be done this Friday or next Friday. But also, I haven't heard from any other working groups. So if you are in another working group, and if you have any features that could include this week or next week, or you are almost there, or you are just thinking on releasing something soon, if you were in our meeting yesterday, please reach out. Julius.
Yeah, I just plan to synchronize KFP 250 and the SDK. KSEF is done, and I think it's useful to get this out to users just rather sooner than later.
Yeah, exactly. The same from pipelines. They are, really eager to release so we can have the latest security updates from there. Akash?
Yeah, hello, Vandana. I mean, I think I posted in chat also. Slightly unrelated, but like for my local CNC of Hyderabad community, I was thinking I can showcase maybe Kubeflow, like maybe little bit like very simple showcase of Kubeflow ecosystem to the community here. So just asking, do you have any particular template which you use for talks, like for showing Kubeflow in general, or I was thinking anyway, if I create from my side, I'll get it reviewed from the community member, but just asking if you have any particular template already in use, so I can reuse that and get it reviewed later on. So yeah.
And that's a great idea. I don't think we have Matthew, Andre. Do we have any templates?
Yeah. So I think it's a great
Presentations?
idea, Akash, actually. So we definitely have a Kubeflow template, and maybe one of the good next step, just a suggestion, should we maybe revive the Kubeflow/marketing materials GitHub and
Mm-hmm.
publish some information there? What do you think, Valentina or Chase?
We
Or
could just
any
use
other?
the community repo. We could just use.
Yeah, we can use community repo. We can use, for example,
Mm,
this one. Like, wondering what are your thoughts on this?
It's probably
okay,
easier to just use
yeah,
the community repo, right?
Okay. Yeah, so
Unless
we
that
can.
repo is not archived, right? Is that repo archived?
It's not yet
yeah.
archived.
No, it's not archive. It's public, I think. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
It's
I
there.
think it's a bit messy, right? Easier to
I
have.
haven't looked into this.
I think it
So
would be
yeah,
definitely, yeah. Having a one-stop shop for people who want to speak about Kubeflow using the template, I think we should have it somewhere, right? So,
yeah, I agree. So, but in the meantime, where can we share a link? Where is it, the template?
I mean, if there is none, I can create one, get it reviewed, and we can basically have it there for
And
everyone
specifically,
else
you're
to
talking
use.
for presentation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
something like that. I mean, this my particular one, what I'm thinking or what content idea is just to showcase something about Kubeflow, but maybe if we have something generic, which we can reuse for everyone on anyone, not just like maintainers, not just for you all, but let's say anyone who want to use in their community, or maybe if that is very, very generic, we can use for KubeCons other places. So yeah, like that, I was thinking.
I think we do have somewhere template. We need someone who can take a look.
At very least, I just want to make sure we use the right logo because so many incorrect Kubeflow logos keep floating around. It's so
Sorry.
annoying. Like,
Yeah.
if you want, unfortunately, we need to. Okay, that's something we do need to do. Make the flipping page on the website because Kubeflow logo gives you the wrong logo. Actually, no, that one works. Okay, yeah. The problem is, this is wrong. This is not the Kubeflow logo. To be clear, people, that is not either. This is not
Also,
either.
sorry to interrupt. I need to leave in a few minutes, and I know we wanted to discuss the release. We can connect with you, Akash, and send
Sure,
you the content. Thank you.
Sure.
We still have 2 weeks, so it will be in the other meeting in 2 weeks. So
Sure.
at some time.
Sure.
Thank you so much. I think it's a great idea. So we want to talk about the release 1.11, Andre.
Yeah, so 1.10.1, sorry, I missed the yesterday call, but we're going to release it this week, right?
Yeah, we are talking with, so there are 2 things. One, I want to hear from all the working groups because we only hear from pipelines. I don't know if there are other working groups that have something that we could integrate in terms of security or bug fixes. So that's something that we need to look, and then we are looking either to release it this Friday or next Friday. So it depends on, if we have other working groups that have something that's about to release soon.
Yeah, like from the training working group perspective, we have a few bug fixes for training operator 1.9. And also we can try to, so I'm planning to release Kubeflow trainer to the 0 this week. Maybe it will be this week or early next week. And if we can have postponed 1.10.1 for 2 weeks, if we have the chance, we can include this as part of it as well.
Yeah, not the problem. The concern I have is that the trainer will be a major feature release, right? Not a minor.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
No, but technically they included. Wait, what did you include in 1.10?
So we have few bug fixes identified in 1.9.1. So in the training operator, and in 2.0 we can also release it, right? So if if release team wants, we can include Kubeflow trainer in the manifest as well.
Because you included 1.9, is that right?
Yeah. So 1.9.2 it will be released. It's separate. We can also do it, but for trainer 2.0, I'm just wondering if we want to include this in the
Well, this is actually a point of discussion later around this confusion around what the current version of trainer is. But,
okay.
But 1.10 included 1.9 trainer, right?
Yeah.
Yes. No, so training operator is included in 1.10 release right now. Kubeflow trainer 2.0 is not included right now in the manifest because we haven't released it yet, right?
Yeah, I can confirm that it's only there. It's not installed by default. I think there are some old leftovers, but it's not the default. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
because,
should we have this discussion also on the release meetings? Yeah, I
yeah,
thought we wanted to.
my only question is here: is it fine for you guys to postpone it, or you want to release it this week? This is my only question.
The priority is to release the security issues and bug fixes as soon as we can.
Well, and that would be including this. There is bug fixes in this, right, Andre?
Yeah. Yes.
For
Are you asking, Andre?
Yeah. So I'm saying is the release that he wants to give you does include bug fixes, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, for
We cherry pick and just include the bug fixes and
Well,
not
that's what
the
they're
major.
doing, right? No. So that's what I'm saying. They're going to release a patch version. That's what they're saying.
Yep.
Just in a week.
Yep. So I guess like training operator we can include easy. It's easy for us to do. More question about trainer, like do you want to have it as part of manifest or not, right?
Well, until there's an official tag release, we can't include it, right?
Yeah, we will add tag. Like, so my only question, okay, for this call, my only question, can we postpone it for 2 weeks or you want to release it this week? That's it.
I imagine that we need some integration tests for trainer and we need to write them. Okay. So probably it's easier if we just do Kubeflow 1.10.1 and afterwards, if you have it ready and we merge it and have the integration test as well, we can also do 1.10.2. That's no problem. It takes me a minute.
Okay, sounds good.
But to be clear, though, but in 1.10.1, he wants to include Kubeflow training operator, the latest release.
Yeah, this we will do. This not. We can try to do this week. It's fine.
We need to at least include 1.9.1. Is that correct?
Yeah, 1.9.2 actually.
Because when are you cutting that?
It's not training 2.0. It's 1.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, we can wait for sure.
That's because that's what we're trying to do. And this is what I come back to though, which is that the website right now is very confusing for users because the manifests include training operator v1, and yet the website includes the default docs for 1.10 are v2, which isn't even released yet.
Yeah, I understand. Let's.
We should add a note that it's not released.
But then the problem is it's the reverse way around. It's like you should use the new one on the old one. Yeah, it's like wait, the new one isn't released yet. That's kind of where I was coming back to. But that's more of a maintainer discussion. So I want to quickly just highlight that at the end of the meeting. But that's anyway. So okay, so for 1.10.1, what is the date? We're going to do it in 2 weeks, is what we're saying.
Yes. So 2 weeks, Andre. When exactly? Can you provide us a date?
Yeah.
Do you have a date?
I think maybe end of next week, if that sounds good.
End of next week.
So May 9th, yep.
So by Monday, the 12th of May, you should be able to cut the release. Is that what we're saying? Like the RC?
Yep.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Andre, for bringing this.
Just to clarify again, we cut the release and then it's training operator 1.9.2 or so.
Yep.
Yeah, we're waiting for 1.9.2. Expected by, what was the date you said? By 9.
It'll be Friday 9.
Is that true, Andre?
Yeah. So good.
It was like, so
if you need one more day, let us know. Are we
going to cut an RC, to be clear, Julius?
I can if you want me to. So that's probably if the
release. We usually don't do RC for patches, right? If it is not really required.
If the tests are successful, and it's probably fine. I will try it out now. Over the next few days.
Well, once we have that release, I guess.
Yeah. Right now, for example, I'm trying to merge pipelines 2.5.0 and see if everything is is still healthy regarding the test, and then you have a very strong indicator.
So like minor versions of internal apps during patch releases, is that okay? Like, you're saying KFP 2.5, right?
I think we did so before for a long time. And
as long as there's no breaking changes, right?
No, it's compatible, and they are including security patches as well, and it's compatible backwards. The features, yeah.
And so we're also waiting for is it already done? KFP 2.5?
It just released, I think, yesterday or so.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Currently testing KOP 2.5. Okay.
Should we spend 3 minutes on 1.11?
Yeah. So let's, Andre, what are your thoughts there? Obviously, we haven't got any
So
official plan.
my only quick question, like I know we kind of try to prioritize CNCF graduation, and I kind of like propose that we postpone 1.11 because we have like few things to do, like in terms of dashboard, the repo split, and also prioritization for graduation before November this year. I just want to hear community thoughts and on this, or any suggestions on 1.11.
I think in the end, it just depends on maintainer availability. So what I think we can do it. I can definitely do it. But I would do it probably low key to not spend too much time on meetings and other things. I would just, as Valentina suggested, see what works, only accept what works, and release that, but we don't have much effort that distracts us from the graduation. But that's only my 2 cents.
Yeah, we agreed yesterday on moving the meetings bi-weekly, and I think that will help also release some time through the week. So we want to try to see how that works. But I think, so from my point of view, when I was at KubeCon, I spoke with different end users who they were using the platform, the Kubeflow platform in setup in order to use the Kubeflow components. So I see it as an important activity that we should be continue doing as a community to continue support those end users, especially from the security point of view. And once, for example, once you have the trainer 2.0, once it's released with Kubeflow, that will give the availability to those users to use your component. So, but I agree that we do have so many things going on. So I'll try to reduce the meetings frequency. But also one of the things I want to see happening and I want to do more is talk more about features, and that is really related with the graduation as well. They are asking us to have a roadmap, and we are graduating Kubeflow, right? We are not graduating like Kubeflow pipelines, for example, just to say an example. So if we are graduating Kubeflow, we need to have, kind of a common roadmap as well, or at least, some items that applies to some components. So I do want to help on that drive, but I understand the concerns in terms of graduation. So I think we should need to try to continue doing both and prioritizing, and let the teams, if the teams feel at some point that we cannot do graduation, we cannot do, release. I don't know. Someone needs to say, hey, but I haven't heard that. I haven't heard, people saying that it's a conflict or something. So I don't know. That's my opinion. And if someone else wants to say something.
I think we should, so we don't want to just leave it hanging, I think. I do think we want to set some goal that we release 2.11 by the end of the year or something like that. Or because I think I'm going to have Notebooks 2.0 ready by then, and I think I want a major release by then, of some kind. I think Trainer, we want to have a release that includes the manifest, I assume, of 2.0, right? And when is that? Do you say, Andre, you haven't cut a tag yet on 2.0. When will you be ready to say
we
the
are planning
first
to
version?
release Trainer 2.0 this or next week. And I think we're planning to do quarterly releases regularly. So by, I think, end of this year, we'll probably have 2 more releases or 3 more releases.
Isn't there some features missing though with MPI integration and stuff?
No, we're planning to do roadmap, and we're planning to just have more kind of a stable release schedule similar to Kubernetes.
But then will everyone who's able to do stuff on 1.0 be able to do that same stuff on 2.0 right now?
Yeah. So not yet, right? So there are some.
So that's my concern about releasing a 2.0 with less features, right?
Yeah, I understand. But we want to release something so people can start adopting the project and build the systems on top, right?
Okay, but then you should release it as an alpha or release candidate or something, right?
Yeah, so I think it's separate. So again, for this discussion, I agree that we need to give some sort of expectation for especially end users who rely on Kubeflow manifest, right? I don't want for them to kind of feel that we not do releases, right? At the same time, I want to understand, is there any urgency for them to have Kubeflow manifest 1.11?
Well, it's only so that we can include Trainer v2 and then probably 1.12 if we do one. It'll take us a couple of months to get. But again, I think it sounds like you might take a couple of months to also get a real, like I would hesitate to release 2.0.0 with Trainer if you don't have backwards feature parity.
From our majority of users, they don't really need Kubeflow manifest release. Like I can speak from the training
Sure.
perspective.
Okay, but like regardless of that, be careful about cutting 2.0 if you haven't got feature parity.
Yeah, so it's separate matter, right? Let's discuss 1.11, right? I just want to hear a community, maybe end users here on the call who want to say we rely on Kubeflow manifest. We want you to kind of, release it more frequently, and maybe for us, honestly, like who are those users who kind of depend on those releases, right? I know, Julius, you have a lot of folks, right, who kind of using the Kubeflow manifest in production, right?
You can also see it in the survey, for example, from Chase or the adopters.
So maybe as a next step, would be to take a look on the survey. I know I have a few responses, right? We haven't got a chance to review it, right? And maybe understand what we should do next, right?
So I guess when is the next thing that will need a non-patch release, right? That's kind of because we can just keep releasing 10.1, 10.2, 10.3.
So from my point of view,
Trainer, it needs a patch real release.
I think for me, less important the trainer and more important, the split, right? Like the split of the repo.
That's not the end user doesn't care about any of that.
Yeah, end user doesn't care, but we still need to do the work, right? Because manifest also needs to adopt it, right? The manifest.
Okay, but that's separate. Like the chain of thought we're discussing here is at some point we need to declare a set of versions as 1.11, right?
Okay.
And then I think we don't need to do that until we have a breaking change. The problem is your breaking change is the first one. In a couple of months, I'll have a breaking change with Notebooks 2.0, right? So there's probably a opportunity for a 1.11, but again, if we haven't got feature parity with 1.10 with your 2.0 and Trainer, I'm a little bit concerned about. But also you'll see less adoption if we don't include it in the manifest.
Yeah, Matthew's right in the sense that a lot of people use Kubeflow manifest or platform directly, and they expect it to be tested and working in something they can just consume in the best case. And this is where Matthew's argumentation is coming from.
So about the trainer, right? Again, we as a working group agreed to maintain training operator for at least a year to year and a half. So we're still going to maintain and make the release of training operator. It will be slow migration. I understand this, right? And it will take some time for have some sort of feature parity between training operator and trainer project, right? We don't see any kind of.
That's fine. That's cool. So then you're just not going to include trainer yet. Is that what you're saying?
We will include it, but it will run in parallel because it doesn't have any confusion between those two projects, right? And it completely different to CRDs, right? People can still use training operator. For people who want to migrate, they can use trainer, right? It's similar to Kubeflow pipelines, right? KFPV1 or KFPV2, you can use wherever you want, right?
It's a little bit different because you're running two different controllers in this case, but yes.
Yeah, so anyway, I think on the trainer work, we don't see any concerns from work hero perspective. We slowly migrate our customers and users, but for now, like they can use whatever they want.
Okay, then that answers my question. So we won't include training operator until 1.11. Sorry, trainer until 1.11. And then so then we need to fix the website with the docs, but we can talk about that at the end. But now then I think the next big release that's going to have a breaking change that requires 1.11 will be Notebooks 2.0 then.
I think if you sincerely using Notebooks only part of Kubeflow manifest, probably the answer is yes, right? Because you kind of a high requirement for you, right? For your customers and users, right? Of Kubeflow.
Well, it's more like just Notebooks depends on the dashboard, right? So that's
okay. So anyway, I think like maybe we can again follow up on the release meetings. I know we have Monday's calls, right? Valentin and Julius and other folks, right? So I just want to hear any other community concerns or maybe suggestions on 1.11.
So like I think this was saying we'll continue doing patch releases for 1.10 until a breaking change in one of the tools happens, probably Notebooks 2.0, and then we'll do a 1.11. Or until we have to drop support for a Kubernetes version or something, right?
Yeah.
More or less, yeah.
And Matthew, you said the notebooks at the end of the year?
My goal is to have a GA release by KubeCon in A.
Okay, November, okay.
We've got a lot of people working on it. To be clear, if anyone wants to help and you're a software engineer or some other helpful person and wanting to contribute, Join our notebooks meetings every Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific. Okay, cool.
Okay,
So then,
perfect.
so specifically about I guess we're putting this release process proposal on pause for now, I guess then? Or is there some...
Let's not say we're putting this on pause. Let's just say we don't establish timeline yet, right?
No,
So...
no, not for 111. She had a proposal specifically.
Oh, yeah. So sorry. Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah, I think we discussed that.
The same to put it on pause. Why are we putting on pause? On pause?
So like effectively,
I think
like
it's still valid.
It's but I think definitely if we're gonna just do these patch releases on 110 for now, which I think is more expected anyway, right? It's a bit weird to, of course, we do have the issue, which is that some people will only upgrade on the major 1.x releases, but I guess that's fine, right? Unless...
Yeah, but we are also continue with 111, right? Nothing has changed.
We will release a 111. It's just that we're not gonna just arbitrarily release it. We're gonna wait until something actually would break, I guess, right? That's...
Well, the 111 for 111 you said?
Yeah. What do you mean?
I think let's...
No.
Yeah.
So the breaks, okay, I'm confused. So we were saying, well, if something breaks, I guess you are talking about securities, and that will be a minor release. The major release will be include your notebooks and any other main
We're not
features.
doing two, so to be clear, major means the first number, minor means the second number, and patch is the third number. So we're only releasing patch releases probably until November. That's kind of the
I don't think we are doing patch releases. I think we are all releasing always as minor.
No, internal projects conversion however they like. This is at the root level of Kubeflow. So Kubeflow 1.10 will be continuously updated throughout the year.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. But Kubeflow 1.10 as in the manifest declaration of version alignment. So like, if one of the internal projects, so pretty much what we're trying to... Yes, that's what we're saying.
We are talking about Kubeflow platform, so manifest.
Yes.
That's what we are talking,
So effectively, the implication is that the minor version of the manifests or platform is no breaking changes if they stay the same. That's kind of for the internal apps.
Yes.
Julius, yeah?
Yeah, so right now our minor version is probably 10. You mean?
Sorry, say that again.
It's our minor version now 10 at the moment. And
yes. And we just keep doing, like what I'm saying is we don't currently have a plan for 1.11 until we have a reason for it, is what I'm trying to say.
Are you trying to change the process? I'm trying to understand what you're saying, Matthew.
What I'm saying is the current focus of the project is on two things: graduating and releasing the V2 versions of a couple of the apps and whatever other stuff that's going on. Like Pipelines is doing some major stuff as well. So everyone's going to need a major version release at some point in the next year, probably. Like everyone from KFP to notebooks to trainer to and so as a result, they'll all land at different times. So whatever ends up being available first, that's what's going to trigger the 1.11 to happen. That's kind of what I'm saying.
I think it's what we have been doing. Well, it's true we haven't done any minor versions in between. So yeah, we probably want to do more minor versions in between, but it's probably more work. So it's not changing.
Like, sorry for interrupting. Just two things I think we should move on, Matthew. So just one thing, we discussed it a little bit. I don't think release team and the Kubeflow manifest should really wait until we have major features, because it's kind of slow down the release process and slow down the people who invest their time to do these manifest releases. From my point of view, Kubeflow manifest should just release also regularly for users who depend on Kubeflow manifest. And Kubeflow manifest should not wait until working groups deliver the features. So at one point of time, like maybe every 5 months or every 4 months, we will make a cut of Kubeflow manifest, which include all the versions of the components, which will be by that time. I think this will, because the problem is waiting, it's again slow down the release process, and I don't think it's a good process for us moving forward. We've been like going through it like multiple times, and working groups just slow down the release process, and distributions who depend on it just waiting for like more than 1 month, right? So this is, I think, one of the proposals from Valentina. I think we should just move this in parallel. So I think, like, from my point of view, Valentina, like, let's review your proposal when we have time. Let's try to see how we can improve this release, right? moving forward. And again, we need to identify users who depend on Kubeflow manifest. So they can also give us their expectation, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that's great. Sounds great. I have to jump to another meeting, but this was great, very insightful, and thank you so much, everyone, for sharing their thoughts.
Okay, well, anyway, we should probably move on and have this discussion over the next wee while, because it's obviously 1.11 will be a while away regardless. But let's my perspective is still that we should focus on patch releases and then only actually release an 1.11 when there is a change. Otherwise, it's miscommunicating to users, right? It's like saying, oh, there's a breaking change when there isn't actually one. But
Can we also, I mean, this discussion is having it on the release meetings, that we focus on the release. We have 1 hour. There is a lot of the working groups people there. But I hear you, Matthew. I will put some thoughts on it. I think we want to move in more agile. That's why we are doing more minor releases. So it could be a good idea. So
cool. Let's talk about the
okay,
graduation
thanks
then.
everyone.
Yeah, quickly, I won't spend like a lot of time on this call because we have like bi-weekly calls. So again, just a reminder, we split this community calls between graduation calls and community calls. So every 2 weeks, next week it will be Kubeflow CNCF graduation call. And in 2 weeks, we're going to have community call again. So first of all, I have a few updates. Valentina has done an amazing job to creating those tracking issues to start to do the work. So I'm working right now to make sure we kind of, transfer ownership from OpenSSF badge to our common account and share this password in the one password, basically. So we can use this the common Google group to create those as OpenSSF badges. But Valentina, she created few tracking issues for us. I think 6 of them. And we're looking for volunteers to start assigning some tasks. So some of those tasks very simple, like, for example, updating, moving like some of the documentation from one place to another, like, creating this governments page with just, just initial page to define the Kubeflow governments, right? And we can constantly update it. So on this call, I just want to say, if you want to get involved, please go over this issue and feel free to leave a comment what you want to work on. And how you can help us, right? And you could also work on some of those, but if you try to open one, for example, application process principles. So all of this issue has multiple check marks, right? So if you want to work on some of them, just let us know and we can assign this issue to you so you can help us with graduation. Yes, I think that will be super helpful for us to move forward.
Some of this, we're just like confirming that we have done it though, right?
Yep.
Like a lot of it. And to be clear, like anything that involves the website, it's going to have discussion no matter what we do. So,
if it is a small change, again, just moving one piece to another piece.
But then the question of what's on, anyway, that's still going to have discussion, you have to admit, but yeah.
Anyway, I just want to say on this call, if you want to help us, let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can guide you where you can start working it, right?
And join the other meeting. So yeah, the best way to help is by joining the other meeting when it happens every other second week. And we'll get you, is that right, Andre, you agree?
Yeah. Any questions on graduation from the community?
So I saw that one thing I do want to bring up is that we saw the TOC. I think there's some confusion about the issue that's actually tracking our graduation on the CNCF issue tracker, because I think we left the one from incubation open. I think we need to raise a new one.
Yeah, I think this will do once we do some progress. And
I know, because we need to then initiate the process for a SIG security review, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. This is separate. Matteo?
Yeah, thank you for this update about the graduation. I was wondering if during the creation of these GitHub issues that I will follow through, do you remember if there is any specific action item that each working group should start to account for it? Or sort of like it's more...
There will be, but I don't think we've got them right now. Is that right, Andre?
Yeah, I think so. If you have time and if you know like what specifically maybe need, for example, what needs to be done for model registry, you can start just working on it. For example, like you need to have like clear release process, right? You probably need to have like a release.md file, or you need to have some sort of docs which define your release process, right? So this is a lot of work which will require for working group and maintenance of the projects, right? So just go over this issue, and
validation and things like that,
yeah. So definitely there will be some work required from model registry folks as well.
Because also that's a big question for the overall graduation we haven't discussed, right? Which is we're graduating Kubeflow, but Kubeflow is a bunch of projects, and those projects
Yeah,
have
I
their
think it's
own
a good topic
release
to discuss
cycles,
next
right?
week. I think, yeah. So let's next week focus on what we're going to graduate, and let's identify, at least like action items, right?
Because like, for example, you know how there's like the neutral requirement, right? Does that
Yeah,
apply
eventual
within
neutral.
each project,
Yep.
right?
Yeah,
Because then
yeah,
some
yeah.
projects are like model registry is Red Hat, right? You know what I mean? And so like while
Uh,
the overall Kubeflow project might be,
I think it's a good point to discuss. I think all of our projects are eventually neutral because all of our projects follow like open governments and diversity in the working groups, right? Even like sometimes we lack in the maintainers, but which we follow these best principles, right? But let's see. Yeah, go ahead, Matthew.
Yeah, just I would like just to challenge the statement that was done before. So as you remember in Kubeflow model registry, we have the very first line in the README. If it's not the first, it's like the second. That's sort of like, yes, we are putting a lot of contributors from Red Hat. That is true. I mean, that is a factual evidence. But we have also onboarded like contributors from other like that came from the community. For example, we received a great help with the manifest and the container image improvement and migration to JSCR. Of course, it's like it may not be a constant update that we get from external contributor, but it's there.
so I'm like, that's absolutely, and I'm very thankful. I was kind of poking you a little bit, but also like the thing I'm trying to highlight is that the CNCF doesn't see it like that. They see maintainers, right? So it's like who's actually committing regularly and who's responsible for choosing when releases happen. That's the thing they care about. And so like that's what we need neutrality on.
So from my point of view, and point maybe you have any sensitive people here, but Qflow overall as an ecosystem is company diverse, right? Some of those projects might be, have less diversity in maintainers, some of the projects have more diversity of the maintainers, but overall, Qflow, like it's exception for CNCF. All other projects usually they don't have same diversity as Qflow has. And I don't think we have any problems in terms of the company diversity to going towards graduation. I'm much less
We need to be
concerned.
careful how we present it then, because then we
Yeah,
can't present it
it's
as different
fine.
projects, for
It's
example.
not a problem for us to present. I think we don't need to present every project. Every project is important from a security standpoint, from the like from maybe documentation side, right? Onboarding process, but overall contribution, I don't think it will be an issue. All right.
Cool. Okay. And Andre, anyone else want to say anything?
Yeah. Any other questions for graduation from other members here on the call?
Cool. Let's keep those talks to next week then. Definitely it'll be an ongoing process. Thanks, Andre. And next, your SDK as well.
Yes. Yeah. So I think it's great work. So the cap got accepted. We started working on it. I've created this new repo. Please follow this repo. There'll be a lot of exciting updates already. We have this new proposal from SAT for local execution of Kubeflow Trainer. So I think like this is the great initiative overall. I'm super excited to move forward to this. I think this definitely will help us to find more adoption for people who don't want to learn Kubernetes, but still want to see the power of Kubeflow for AI and ML workloads. I think this kind of has a lot of potential in the future. And our initial goal to just prototype something with Kubeflow Trainer, and then slowly add more functionality like Katip or Optimizer if you're going to do this migration, and also Kubeflow pipelines and other things. So the end goal of all of this is just to do pip install Kubeflow and start to do ML work at scale.
Is this also an CLI, by the way, or is it only Python?
No, right now it's only a Python SDK. Yeah, but it's only Python SDK, and the goal is to, even if you don't have Kubernetes, you still can leverage those tools to run ML workloads, even locally. So locally, remote, the same exact experience using the Python first approach. Yeah.
Are we, because we do have this weird CLI thing that we need to contain as well. Because like the weird.
Yeah, I think arena discussion is separate. So,
but should that be merged into this? Is kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a good point. I know we also have KJobCTL in the Kubernetes 6 batch working group. So,
like, because I feel like there is a CLI need, right, for some things. I bet.
Yeah. So there is existing CLI with batch working group maintained. So I just would love to understand what is our relationship with them, also, right? Because they can have integration with our CRDs, for example. I'm talking about KJob, the project which came out from Q sub project.
Sure, but I mean, also like, I mean, while Arena is a bit of a strange situation,
Yep.
like I do think there is a reason that those people created it. I mean, they're not even in a working group. It's a bit problematic, but like they do support this weird like submitting KFP jobs and things like that, I believe, right?
So I think they have integration with Spark Jobs. So
oh, and that as well, yeah. Training jobs, serving jobs. So like saying, so like, because I feel like I've seen a lot of people who want a CLI as well, especially for the auth side of it, without kubectl. Like that's kind of for a lot of companies, even with Kubernetes. Is what I mean. Like that might.
Let's continue talking on this.
Yeah, let's talk about it later. Yeah, I just think I think maybe that's a solution to that problem. Is kind of what I'm saying as well.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Anything else you want to ask for help or something or?
Yeah, I think so. So if you just want to be involved, please attend. So we don't have dedicated community call right now. We're discussing this during training working group calls and next steps. So the next call is tomorrow at 2 a.m. I think UTC, right? Yeah, 2 a.m. UTC. So it's 7 a.m. Pacific time. So if you want to get involved, let us know. We have a few tasks to do. I'm planning to stop a repo and do the things there. So yeah, so maybe the next step, we want to migrate Kubeflow Trainer SDK here, but we need to finish few PRs before we do migration. Go ahead, Seth.
Yes, Andre, thank you very much. Should we tag which PRs we would like to complete before we go? Like, also one more thing is migrating all the issues related to the SDK to this repository. Would that make sense? There is a way in GitHub to do so. Yeah.
So there's a bot command. You just do. Please don't. Yeah. Just side note. If you like, in general, do not transfer issues around the repos. It's kind of bad unless you have agreement from the people you're transferring. You know, but like, if it's obvious in this case, you can do /transfer and then the name of a repo if you're a member of the org.
Yeah, I will try to go over the issues training operator and trainer and migrate them here with transfer command. I will do it, Seth, like once I finalize it. But I think for your proposal again for local execution, please open this under proposal section in this repo, so we can talk in the cap. All right, sounds good.
Working on it. Okay, cool. Thanks.
So attend the meetings tomorrow at 7 a.m. Pacific, right?
Yes, I think so.
Cool.
It's yep.
Maybe we'll check. Maybe check that. Don't based on what I said.
I will link our meeting notes here. Let me just.
I can also just check on the website. This is how you find the meetings. Everyone who's in this meeting probably knows because they're in the meeting. But Kubeflow meetings, you can scroll down. You can add the calendar to your Google. You can also look at this version here. And so, for example, it's 7 a.m. And it shows you in your time zone, to be very clear. So 7 a.m. Yes. Do you want to rename that meeting then so that it says trainer and training operator or something?
Yeah. It's a good point.
Sorry, trainer and SDK.
Let's think on it. Yeah, let's.
Because like I've renamed ours to Notebooks 2.0.
Yeah. We have also the contributor. Like we have working groups and we have like the projects meetings. So maybe it makes sense more to rename the meetings to the project oriented, right? As you like, we have
so that people can find them, right? It's mainly so that people can find them. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe working groups is more internal, right? Mm-hmm.
Well, they are still working group meetings, but like anyway. Okay. So yeah, pretty much what I did is Kubeflow notebooks plus working group meeting. Anyway, okay. Anything else you want to add for ISDK?
I think we can move on.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, most of this next stuff now is very technical stuff. Of course, we do need to think about the one we didn't quite get it here. We skipped over it, but the website. The blog post for 110. Obviously, we added it already, but like I think I guess we're not going to change it. But the slide deck, what's the status on that? Right before we move on, do we know? Okay, if not, then I think we probably need to figure this out because I don't think it's listed on the release website. No, it's not.
I know there is.
Mm-hmm. So for that one, we've collected all the chunks of the videos. What we're missing is the introduction part for the presentation. So the release team will provide in that one in the shared folder, namely Valentina. And then as soon as that is done, I can start to collage and piece them out. Just for information, what emerged yesterday during the Kubeflow release team meeting is that we also are still without the control of the main Kubeflow YouTube channel, where typically you wanted to publish this video. So what happened last time is that Googlers helped us to publish the video on the main Kubeflow YouTube channel, but sort of like then all the possibilities to try to gain control or at least to be autonomous, at least in publishing the videos, went nowhere.
So they do need to, like from a legal perspective, they've committed to transfer all assets to the CNCF. So like they need to. So they should convert it to a brand account, just like we've done for the community one, and then add a couple of us as owners of that so that we can then add other people like we have. So do we know who still has admin on the old account, Andre, or anyone?
You mean for YouTube?
Yeah, not the community one, but the Kubeflow.
So I think it's James.
So I need to walk him through the process of making it a brand account then, probably.
Last time, if I remember correctly, the contacts that we had mentioned that they are not managers in that YouTube channel.
Who is then?
Unfortunately, it was not possible for them to identify. Maybe we can look back again.
It'll be Thayer and stuff, right? It'll be Thayer from Google's open source project office, right?
And so Thayer, I think so. James Liu probably still has access. Like we can try to reach out to him.
He'll be on his Google account. No, he won't. He does not work at Google anymore. You know,
James Wu.
Oh, James Wu. Sorry, someone else.
James Liu. I don't know. Like we need to see.
James Liu probably does still work at Google. Right. I thought you said Jeremy.
do we know if video is ready, Matteo?
Well, we need to get access to the YouTube channel either way.
Yeah, I understand. So, but the video is we're still working on it, right?
On the video, as soon as I got the introduction part, I will piece it together. So that is something that we are autonomous with. It's simply that we also recognize, we just remember that last time we had this problem with the main YouTube channel. So it was meaningful to raise it. We may want to follow up again.
Yeah, I'll try and get owner on it like I've got for the community one, and then I'll make sure that we add access to enough people like we already have. But we need to decide who has access. I guess theoretically the people who have access will be the new KOC. Outreach committee, that is. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to get access to this YouTube channel.
So we should just work with Google to fix it, because again, they don't have a choice. They have to give it to us.
Yeah, I understand.
Like we own the trademark. They're violating our trademark right now. So, if you know what I mean. Like, cool.
I will try to follow up on access once we have time there. All right.
Awesome. Okay, other than that, there's some technical questions. I just want to highlight to every working group. I would love to try and get everyone's old Docker Hub tags migrated to their new repos. I know how every project has moved to the GHCR for their latest tags, but we made a tool that helps migrate the thousands of images from the old tags to the new ones, especially for notebooks, which has like so many images. So if people like, I really want everyone to do this so that if Docker ever goes away fully or whatever, we actually have a history of all of our tags. But anyone have any opposition to that? It does take an enterprise account with Docker so that you don't get rate limited. I have that. If someone
did we get any complaints from users after migration?
Well, I mean, people are adopting 110 slowly, so they'll only. To be clear, Docker went back on the change.
Complaints from users who on the previous versions?
To be clear, Docker went back on their change temporarily.
For how many months?
That's why we can't.
Yeah, I see. So my only question again, this requires a lot of effort.
No, so it only requires me just telling me what your mapping is. So we have it. This tool it's just a YAML file mapping system, and then I can run it for you. Or I can't actually because I don't have admin on the GitHub org, but someone who does temporarily.
Yeah, on the last call, not last call, some weeks ago, someone mentioned that if we talk with some folks from Docker, we can have exception, right? But this is still will not be good. It's still good for the user, right? It's just for us, for our internal builds.
One account though, right? Presumably,
yeah.
Not 20 different accounts. And also, I think the long-term solution is not using Docker or GitHub. It's using the CNCF's Kubernetes distribution.
Yeah, that's exactly my point, because not right now we are moving from one vendor to another vendor, right? And the vendor GitHub could say, "Oh, we should slow down the amount of
I
that we are
think with
consuming."
GitHub, we are fine for the foreseeable future, but I do want to get into the CNCFs one just because I think it's more stable long term. But I don't think GitHub's going to change it anytime soon, my perspective. But they're, they yeah. Anyway, so in the short term though, this is not about that. We are already on GitHub. The next question is just I just want to make sure that we have all the old tags so we don't lose them. That's mainly. And so that if Docker ever does start rate limiting, people can just regex replace their Docker images with the GitHub container ones, with the old versions. So yeah, I should probably go in each of the meetings and just like, we can probably send Andy to honestly each working group just to do one a month or something. But I don't know. Okay, moving on. I won't go through this random proposal. It's just I was writing it up in the doc, which was that I think we should have a standardized CRD visualizer, just like we have a standardized Swagger visualizer. There just isn't a good option right now. So for example, in pipelines, we have Swagger. That's these kind of pages right here, right? We should also have one for CRDs rather than kind of every like link, especially for the more, this is hard to read, it's hard to search. In this case of Spark Operator, for example, we just link off to a thing, to like this crazy repo. I mean, how useful is this really, you know? There is a bunch of open source projects, and like, so for example, Kubernetes does this, right? They have this. This is still better than what we're doing, at least it links between them. And then there's other ones, like specific ones here. This is at least still better than what we're doing. Argo Workflows does this, which is, everyone kind of does it a different way, but it's all automatically generated. And I just think we need to have a way that I can, on the website, point at your CRD file and generate a page for each CRD that each project has, because it's really good documentation for users. Especially for stuff like Notebooks 2.0, which uses a lot of complicated CRDs, and so same with Trainer. So if people have
I think the
ideas
trick will be how we're going to synchronize it with the centralized website, right?
Well, no, it's very easy because like in the same way that the Swagger just points at a particular tag of the Swagger JSON, my goal is that whatever system we use just points at the CRD YAML.
Mm-hmm.
And then just generates it from that.
Yeah, so you're going to have this in automation, right? So just point to the remote CRD YAML, right, from the website.
Yeah, and I'm just looking for people who might think of this as an interesting project. Like, I guess if someone happens to have time, one of the GSOC students might be able to take a look at it as well. But it's kind of just an interesting. This isn't a great solution in the open source world right now. There's lots of there's a couple of open source projects, but the goal is to get it so that we can just point it at a CRD YAML file and have it solve itself. I just wanted to bring this up as something that I think will really help users, because right now a lot of our CRDs are only documented in kind of really sparse ways. That's kind of what I mean. So if you have experience with this or you have ideas, yeah.
So just a question, like if we can get somebody with UX experience to look at the website in general and optimize how our docs look like. Also, a question if that would relate to the ML experience working group, a group that we were trying to establish some time ago before the conference. Would we get their input on this one, or it does not relate?
I think it would most likely relate to the KOC, the outreach committee, but changes to the overall structure of the website are like, there are always going to be debates and stuff. This is just about giving a tool for every working group to use. Like, if people want to do reviews and make proposals, it's an open source project, right? They can do that. But like, this is specifically, I just want to focus this on, we have a specific problem, which is that we don't document our CRDs right now that well. And I think that it will improve user experience to have a standardized system. That's all I wanted to say. So there's some kind of domain study I did here. Okay, we're 1 minute over. The trainer docs, I do want to talk about, Andre, but we can talk about that another time. We do need to solve the initial problem, though, which is that right now people are pointed towards these to-dos, and they don't even have a way. If they end up on V1, like, I don't know, right? Like, this seems a bit bad. That's all I'm saying. Andre, he went offline. Okay. Well,
let's talk about it tomorrow. I think
Yeah.
if we need people who can help us with docs.
Well, at
I
very
think
least,
it
we just
would-
need to make it less confusing. This is confusing right now because there isn't even a V2 release.
No, but I mean, I understand this. Again, we don't really receive any. I mean, we receive questions from users. We know what we want to improve, and we know when we're going to make a release. And I think after next week, it will be much less confusing when we have like official, tag and release.
Well, I
for
think we
this
should
project.
put in this note. We should say like explain that V1 comes with the manifest. V2 is available from here.
I don't. I mean, we don't see the usefulness of this, to be honest, Matthew. Like at least the working group leads. I mean, I'm happy to discuss it tomorrow. Like overall,
I just really do worry about the future of the project otherwise, because I've seen users, I've actually seen users in person get confused by this. Because
Okay,
they start
let's
trying
talk
to
about
use
it tomorrow.
V2 with V1. Anyway, so that's just, I just want to highlight that. Other than that, we can probably move on. Anyone else got anything they want to say? We'll close out the meeting.
I think we have two issues on the website regarding companies and also the components/projects renaming, right?
Let's focus on the front page website, I think, first before we do the component renaming thing. But yeah.
Okay, so I guess like the components to the projects renaming, we need to find someone who can help us with it, right?
Well, I can do it. It's just like, it just takes time to change the template. It's just a template change. Because I'm not going to do it physically. I'm going to do it by just changing the way that this section is rendered, by just doing an if statement on the sidebar and then bringing it up the top.
Okay, we just need to rename it to projects.
Well, you can rename it however you like. You can do that. You can rename it to projects right now if you like.
So yeah, so how much effort do you think it requires for you to
The problem
work?
is that if you need to make sure that the top part, we need to be very careful about renaming this top part to projects.
Yeah, I
also-
understand. It will require a lot of redirects. We can keep components in the folder and just rename it in the
Yeah,
website.
so you can rename the name separately to the path.
Yep.
But then also
Yeah,
I'm
but-
saying to move it to the top, again, what I'm going to do is just make an if statement in this template and just move it to the top.
I think overall we should stop calling these components and call it projects because it
We
is
can
not
agree that
component.
formally then with the KSC.
Yeah, but anyway, so the only problem with components, Kubeflow pipelines has a components concept, right? So people really get confused when they call these components, right? It is
I
not
think
component.
maybe it should be sub projects though, because otherwise we're saying that we're a sub foundation, right?
Yeah, so anyway, so you overall we call it projects. I think we find it useful when we call it Kubeflow ecosystem, right? Like similar to what we've done
Not sub projects.
No, in the diagram, right? The architecture diagram you created. So
I know,
we
but
called
that's that was a space constraint issue, not a
No,
decision.
I mean, anyway, we can discuss it maybe next call, but I suggest to call it projects and call it overall ecosystem, right? Because there will be no external add-ons, right, for us. It'll be only Kubeflow projects under Kubeflow ecosystem, right?
In any case, but the thing that's blocking us for the homepage logos is that we need to review that PR, but also we need to make sure that they follow the 3 steps, that they're in the CNCF member orgs, that they are in one of the adopters files, which we now have under here. For everyone who wants to add their adopters, please do this. Adopters, that they're in one of these files, and then that we need to have some confirmation, and that PR is getting out of hand, like that we need some cataloging way to say, yes, this company has consented to have their logo on the homepage. In just a brief way. Obviously, they're not going to, because they're in the CNCF and because they do use the project, it's likely to be fine. I just want to have someone from the company be on the hook to say that it was okay.
Yeah, we only need consensus from Google, and I think that's it. From others, we already got consensus. It's only Google right now, which is
we
waiting.
have Amazon.
For Amazon, from AWS, we got approval.
Yes, but also they're not listed on any of these.
I mean, it doesn't matter. They got approval in the PR, right?
I just think we need to be careful to make sure that there's a process to add people to the front page. So I think the KSC should also vote on each one.
So yeah, Akash, go ahead, Akash.
Yeah, I think from Oracle, I think Victor already confirmed. So I mean, just saying from Oracle also, you have got the approval.
You just need we just have it in writing somewhere. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Akash,
it's
can you add Oracle? Can you add can you add Oracle to the adopters then, and then
sure.
Yeah.
So it doesn't need to be this one. It could be here, or it could be under any of the components, just somewhere, right? Also, we need adopters files for these 3 projects, please.
Sure.
Not you, but anyone who can do that.
Yeah, I was answering previous one. Yeah, but I got it.
And so, is Oracle a member of the CNCF? It is, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think again along with Google and all, it's a platinum member. Yeah,
Make
that's
sure you
what
use the correct entity. Like if it's Oracle Cloud, that's a member, or whatever it is.
Oracle Corporation.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Singaling.
And so and I think, Andre, the most important thing was the 3 steps, right? It was that they're a member of the CNCF, that they're in an adopters file, and that the KSC votes to allow and that one of their employees says it's okay, and that the KSC allows them to be on the front page, right? Those are the 4 requirements, right? So we need to vote, like not we, but like we need to have the last step happen as well, Andre. But
Anyway, let's follow. Sorry, what is the last step?
the last step is have the KSC do a vote for each one. Just make sure that everyone's okay with
Yeah,
that.
let me bring this. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Right.
Yeah. But like,
Julius, do you want to say something, Julius from SIT?
Whatever increases adopters, I also now have a somewhat maintained list of adopters.
Can we try and get these 3 projects to have adopters files?
Yeah, no, in the adopters PRs, I actually maintain our list alphabetically of all the companies I know that are using it.
Well, we should encourage them to add themselves then.
Yeah, and this is what I do. I also, in the PRs and issues that I have on Kubeflow Manifest, it says, well, I considered adding my company to the adopters list because I want to help the community if I want to get help from the community.
Sure. I mean, we want people to add themselves. But again, to get listed on the homepage, it's a bit of a separate thing just because we need to protect the project. But yeah, for this page, anyone can list their company if they have consent of their company.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do need these 3 because pipelines, obviously I need to do notebooks, but like model registry and pipelines, I think we need.
One more thing, this like the contact name which we have, how hard it is that person has to be the official one who is handling Kubeflow integration, or
that's on you. That's on you. Like if you, whoever does it is like if someone comes to us and says you're misusing our brand, we're going to point at that employee and say that was the person who said it was okay. So we're going to try for the homepage. We're going to take a bit more due diligence because like it's going to be like the KSC votes on it, and we try and be careful, and that we also have to have a CNCF member because there's like an anti-suing clause going on there. But like, but for this one, it's just you're on the hook, right? If you put your company here, it's your job to make sure that you actually have it. We're going to check that you work at the company, but that's about it, right?
Like, the reason is not for Oracle. I remember I have a PR, maybe I'll say, for CO. So they used to maintain a Kubeflow distro, but now I cannot pinpoint a particular person. So that PR itself is pending because there is no adapter. Like we cannot name one person who will handle that. So how do you maintain that?
So the company itself has to add themselves. What do you mean? We don't add other people. Like you can't open a PR to add someone else to the adopters. That's not appropriate.
No. I mean, how it started, there was a person who I remember who was working there. He opened PR like way 1.5 year back. That was
that's not adopters though. That's distribution. I think we're talking about 2 different things here. Right.
Okay. Maybe I'll
adopters file is. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. I'm so sorry.
I'll even add.
Like this is what I'm talking about, people here. I'm talking about this, like we have this link. So what I'm saying is we need these 3 projects to have adopters files. We also have adopters of the overall platform down here. So people need to raise PRs who work at these companies.
Okay. Got it.
To either this bottom one or into one of these ones. Or again, we need to make sure that we have adopters files for them to raise into for the model registry notebooks and pipelines.
Okay. Got it. I think it was something else. I'll share.
Yeah, so distribution is a bit different. Anyway, let's end the meeting. We're way over time, guys. Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording. People can stay on and chat if they want. But thanks for coming, everyone. Next week is the CNCF community. Sorry, graduation call.